What's up? Welcome back, everyone. Another week over. Got the button. How are we all doing? Let's grab the home base. Share my screen. There we go. Hey, welcome. Just 1 second. I got my shoes on and want to take those shoes off. There we go. All right, so another week over. I think since the last, we had a new all-time high since the last stream. Not unless you joined in the Discord yesterday. But yeah, in weekly stream, we had a new all-time high. I think we had a little bit of a pullback. Like let's grab the chart here. I mean, we just bounced off of basically the old level. I think if we close above it, we could see, like, not a bounce down, but we could see an earlier further move up. Very interesting to see. Let's grab the crypto bubbles real quick. I think overall, let's refresh it real quick. I mean, overall, the week, it's not bad. It's been a pretty good week. Like on the day, Bitcoin's a little lower, but I mean, 16% up on Bitcoin, I'm not complaining. Obviously for Sui, Sui is a bit of a different story, but I think it'll bounce back. Like, I'm not too worried about it. Like, all of these projects have had hiccups, big hiccups along the way. It's fairly stable considering what happened. Hey, Valentin, yeah, I'm good. How are you? I'm actually right in the middle of packing for a trip. I leave at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. So busy times, doing everything far and in between. My brother just bought a house, so I've been helping him move today. So it's very, very hectic. I'm trying to do my DCAs all through it. So sometimes life tends to get in the way, I suppose. Let's see what your guru is telling us today, because I had a few articles. But that's not really news, is it? That was already known. All right, it's a little higher. I think currently it was paused at 10%. Like, Ethereum is doing really, really well. I genuinely think Ethereum will act as the silver to the Bitcoin's gold. But considering where it came from, it's not completely like Bitcoin, but I mean, come on. I definitely think Ethereum has a place in the near future, like in the next 10 years. I'm fairly certain Ethereum will stand there right beside Bitcoin. I've been mainly focused on Bitcoin lately because obviously it was more I'm going on a short holiday in between, like from Saturday to Wednesday. I'll be in Germany, and it was supposed to be super nice weather, but I just checked, and like the Netherlands, it's been raining all damn day. I'm fairly certain it's going to be not as sunny as I hoped, but I mean, it's vacation and the Germans have good beer, so I'm fairly certain I will enjoy myself, but It would have been nice to have a little bit better weather, but oh well. Hey, RM Ali. I think Bitcoin, like, it could correct itself, but what I'm surprised at is, like, you joined the stream like literally a little bit late. Like, I think if it stays above this level, I mean, I mean, I've not drawn it to a certain. It's basically the average between these two tops. But I think if it holds this, I think it could either we should see more sideways movements, or we go further up. Because I was expecting it to bounce off of this line back down, but we surpassed it. We closed above it, so I think it's retesting. We could see more along the lines of basically what it's doing now. We go down and we go that way. Maybe I should do this. Multiple monitors. But I think we could see something like this happening. Then again, if you are in big profit, I always take a little bit of profits. I mean, I took profits yesterday. Not exactly sure at what price point, but I took a little bit of profits. I've taken profits here. I've taken profits here. Like, I always advocate to keep profits along these ways up, because let's grab CoinMarketCap real quick. Like, if we look at the Fear and Greed Index, every time we hit extreme greed, or at least well into greed, but we're almost at the extreme greed, pretty much always we see a drop back down. So on my last stream, I think last week, like, you could base a trading strategy purely off of this indicator and basically only buy when red and sell when green, and you will make money. It's that simple, really. Like, we do all these micro moves in between, but you could base a trading strategy off of this. So we're almost in that extreme greed territory. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see a move down, if we see a correction. Will it be in the weekend? I don't know. Like, historically, there's been trends like on Friday we see a sell-off, and yes, Bitcoin's dipped a little bit, but then again, it's also finding back up. So I think it's give or take. What's a good example is this. I think it'll be more of this, like this. Let's draw rectangle. I think something like this will happen here, at least for a few days. Oh, I always try to talk about the S&P 500, actually. Let's refresh it real quick. Like, obviously, like, I think long term we will see bigger dips on stock markets, or especially American stock markets. But global markets are very correlated and entwined. So pretty sure that in general, stock markets will be bearish. What surprises me initially was how quick Bitcoin started to move independently of the stock market. Because ever since I was in crypto, when the stock market crashes, or when there was a correction in the stock market, not really a crash, but a correction, then always Bitcoin would move along with it. Like, money flows out, Bitcoin flows out, money flows in, Bitcoin went up. Not 100% codependent, but very codependent. And now that we see, like, when the S&P 500 was crashing down, we saw Bitcoin going up as well as gold. So more and more we see Bitcoin acting like gold and silver, like alternatives to stocks or regular financial markets. But with all of Trump's measures, all of the effects slowly starting to all of the changes he implemented are slowly starting to show their effect, and a lot of Americans are now starting to see the price increases, because a lot of the companies are putting them separately on their import notices or on their receipts and bills. I think these effects will start to come more and more, and it will impact spending because prices will go up. So people will be able to buy less in general. People will try to spend less in general because prices will go exponentially. Companies will sell less, will make less profits because of it, will maybe fire some people, etc., etc. I think it will snowball negatively, and I think it will affect a lot of American households and in turn a lot of financial markets. And apart from that, Trump has basically pissed off every country in the world. So the de-dollarization agenda, which was already a big thing before all this, before Trump, has taken what's the word for it? It's gone into overdrive. Like a lot of these countries already had this idea, had this agenda, and they're doing this at an exponentially faster rate now. So the de-dollarization of world trade is a very real threat. But what benefits us in crypto is that they're looking at crypto like XRP and certain stable coins, crypto, Bitcoin, whatever. They're looking at alternatives to the dollar, to the regular dollar trading pairs, basically. So in turn, I think crypto will continue to go up, will become its own thing. But I think American markets, S&P 500, at least, I think in the long run, they will definitely rebound. But I think the growth will be less if it sticks to growth. And other than that, I'm expecting a bit of a dip. But I kind of want the stock market to go down because I'm relatively young and I'm in a buying phase. So I try to buy as much as I can, both crypto and stocks. I buy both every month. So the cheaper it goes now, how terrible it is for the world and retirees and people depending on it. For me personally, it would be quite good if we see a bigger correction in all markets, really. But luckily, I already have quite a bit of a holding in crypto, so it'll even out. But yeah, I think I'm not too positive on the stock market in general. Yeah. So the layoffs exactly are, sorry if I'm rambling, but yeah, you saw layoffs already happening, and especially like with Stellantis and Ford, big automakers already are anticipating this. But what also is happening because of the fickle nature of Trump's policies and the rapidly changing effects, like no company is going to invest in such a climate. Most, if not all, of those companies will wait the next 3.5 years before to see some relatively calm person back into office in a relatively calm climate. Because if you buy a machine to manufacture cars in America, let's say you do this, and in the next 3 years a different president comes and he removes all tariffs again and global trade is open again and we're all friends again, then you've built a multi-million-dollar factory, hired very expensive workers and tried to educate them to be able to build that stuff. And then nobody will buy your cars anymore because the new cars, which will be semi-imported, will be much, much cheaper. So it does not make sense to do that investment. And I'm talking about cars now, but it'll be across all markets. Like global trade is so intertwined that yeah, you could decouple from it, but I don't see any positive effect of why you would do that as a company. Like as a country, I can see the potential, but for a company, you take all the loss, you eat all the loss, you make no profits for the next several years, and then then you only have to hope that everybody else follows suit with you. And we all know that companies look for the cheapest option, the cheapest way to produce, the cheapest way to work. Like every company wants to make profit, so profit is key. It's sad how the world works, but profit is key. So it's not just me saying this. Like I sound heavily biased. I'm trying not to be. In all honesty, I'm trying not to be. But I base my opinion on all the news articles I read. I read quite a lot of them. I try to stay as informed as possible, and virtually none of them are positive about all this stuff that's been happening. So it's hard to put a positive spin on that. But back to crypto. S&P 500. I think it'll find good. I think it'll stay a little bit sideways here as well. I don't see a 20% increase year over year this year for the S&P 500. I don't think it'll happen. And in my opinion, I'd rather see it go back down to this level and stick there for at least a year. And that will make my yearly investor score very poor. I'm a popular investor on eToro. Links is in the description. It'll tank my rating. But for me personally, it'll be very good because I can DCA the hell out of that. And if we go back up, I'm immediately in very massive profit on the S&P 500. The best price to buy Chainlink. Is that right? I've not looked at Link for quite a while. By the way, how is my microphone volume? I was having issues with it, and I tweaked something which I couldn't find again. But I'm hoping it's better now. I think it's good, but I'm not 100% sure of it. You can tell. You can probably tell I'm passionate about the S&P 500. But yeah. All right. Great. So Link. What is Link again? I've not looked at Link quite a while because I don't hold Link. Backbone of the blah blah blah. Oh yeah. So what's its market cap? 31. $10 billion market cap, and its all-time high is 20. So in general, I'm actually quite bullish on altcoins right now because I think they've been left behind at the Trump pump and like the initial Trump pump we had on Bitcoin. And we were all expecting an alt market, and it didn't happen. And basically, alts were bled dry for months. I think basically the fear has been shaken out of most alts, and a lot of the altcoins basically bottomed out. Let's call it bottom out. Obviously, they've been lower in the past, but let's call it bottoming out. And basically, people stopped selling. So if you have a legitimate project with a legitimate team, good product, use case, volume on its network or volume on its token, I see no reason why it would not go up. So if we look at this market cap, we see this volume. Yeah, it's a little bit down, but it's still very decent volume. The supply is good. In general, I think the fundamentals are good. Yeah. I mean, there's several projects that do something similar, but yeah, I get it. Like, I've not invested directly in Link, but basically linked to Link to put it in a little bit into perspective. But let's grab the. Wait, what's the ticker for it? It is Link, right? Yeah, it is Link. There we go. USD. That's it. Generally, I don't like to draw lines. I'll do it now because it makes more sense. Generally, I draw a rectangle, not a hard line. But I always try to find a reference point, which I think is it's close in most cases. So we retested this, it went back up. What basically Bitcoin is doing at the moment, I think it's retesting. This went up. The volumes, it's okay. I mean, it's small, but you can see around this here, it bottomed out. Buyers started to win from the sellers. I'd like to see a little bit more green here, a little bit more positive momentum, but it could also be a good entry around this area. So let's divvy that up, because I always like multiple entries. Somewhere around that area. There, and possibly one more below it. And around. That would be a resistance. And that's pretty clear. So if I was trading this, that's the one. Basically what I do is, let's put it, it's the position tool doesn't really allow it at this point, but this is pretty much a trade I would take. But I would also put this one there. You can see it already lined up with the next level. Basically, if I'm actively trading it, that's how I would do it. Price it around there. Maybe. If you want to add a fourth position, you can. Usually I take 3. So this is how I would trade it, if that makes sense. So right now, especially if you're not sure about a trade, like just let it hit 1, hit 2, hit 3. Maybe not even use a stop loss. It depends. Like, yeah, I would use a stop loss, especially after the last position. But let's say take 3. I would move almost all 3 of the stop losses around this area. I would wait for the price to go down, price to go down, price to go down. And what this does is it lowers your entry average. So if the first trade's hit, it goes into profit and you close it, great, you made profit. If it doesn't, if it goes down, you average down, basically you DCA into the trade on the second one and on the third one. So without hitting your stop loss, you do lower the buying average. Yes, you're still in the red, but if you, let's say you want to invest $100 into this trade, you put 33.33 there, 33.33 there, or 33.33 there. So if it hits the entry and it goes up and you hit your trade profit, great, you win. You win a little less than you would have if you put that $100 into one position, but still you win. A win is a win. And if it hits 2 positions, you put in $66 and it hits maybe just to this line. This trade will still have made profit, that will still have made profit, you make a little bit more profit. But it also protects you from the downsides. It protects you from stop losses, even on spot markets. Like this technique is transferable to both futures market, leverage trading, and spot trading. So if you would ask me for a hard price level, maybe an entry around 15, take profit around 19, maybe 18 if I see the price going against me. Maybe small leverage trade, but like, and if you're asking me if it's a DCA trade, like a long-term trade, then generally I would just buy these green levels. I would buy all these levels and just hold. And if it goes all the way up here, maybe all the way up there, maybe all the way back to its all-time high, then I pick out profits. Difference is I don't sell everything. So let's say over this period, I put in $100. Around here, it's worth $200. I would take out like 80, leaving 120. But I take the $80 out. So when the price goes back down, like we retest these former prices, I'm able to buy back in buy more back in if it's dollar cost averaging position, if that makes sense. So did that answer your question a little bit? The video camera could improve. I think it should be 1080p. Oh wait, no, but it's because I'm going through StreamYard. That's why it's it's probably on 720p. But my camera is like an iPhone 15 Pro Max, so it's not the camera. It's probably the streaming service I'm using currently. But I might move to a different one soon because I'm not really a big fan of this one. It's not through YouTube directly. It's because it's linked to a couple of things, but I used to pay for it, but it was so damn expensive. So now I'm on the free plan, so they downgraded me probably to 720p. You're welcome. Yeah, what's next? I'm kind of lost my chain of thought. Global market caps a little down again. Like if we want to see new all-time highs, like genuine all-time highs on all coins, on everything, that's this number needs to move up. We need to go above 4 for this. Once we get this above 4, like we will see new all-time highs on everything here. That's what I think. Like Bitcoin's had its moment for now. Yeah, I think it'll slowly keep climbing, but as I said, the alts have been bled dry. I think it's time for the alts. I think we will see more movements on them. And we kind of already are. Like the volume has been up on them. And we're seeing like the trending coins are starting to come back as well. And then it's not just random meme coins. And greed index is like it's almost in the grid. And we moved 1 point closer to the altcoin season again. Altcoin season index. It's been a very long time since this hit altcoin season. But I think, like eventually, it will have been long enough. Best coin before pump. So obviously, I'm not a fortune teller. Like anybody that claims to know which coins will pump are lying or extremely lucky if they're right. But I think Avalanche. I saw this article. FIFA signs partnership with Avalanche AVAX to build its own blockchain. Avalanche is one of the ones that did really well in the past, but has been quite dormant for a while. I think Avalanche will do a comeback. I like their three-pronged approach, like they have 3 separate blockchains into one token, or crypto coin really, because they have their own blockchains. I think news like this starting to appear, they're probably will be working on more partnerships, more stuff like this. It was very big in the past with meme coins. It had its own meme system, smaller than Solana. Solana really stole the show back then. But I think AVAX will do well in the past, and I hold AVAX myself. I have quite a bit of AVAX, so I think AVAX is one to watch for sure, because also the market cap still has that growth potential. Like with a $10 billion market cap, if it moves to like even halfway to Solana, that's an instant 5x on the price. Like 5 times this market cap equals a 5 times increase on the price. So I think Avalanche has definite room for growth, and by extension, Chainlink or Link should be able to do the same. I'm not familiar with the project as much, and I don't hold it personally because I think it's best to hold a few coins than the other way around. A little bit of a lot of coins. I dislike that because you lose track of them. So I do not hold Link, but I do hold AVAX. But generally, they're in the same ballpark. They have that room for growth. And another one is Kaspa. Kaspa, almost $3 billion market cap. But if that goes to 10 billion, or at least let's say it goes to 10, that's still almost a 3 to 4, almost like 3.3x on the current price. So that will make this price 33 cents instead of 11. Okay. Yeah, but the difference with Algo and Chile was that was before their initial pumps. So that was before they had these big market caps. They got those market caps afterwards. And almost all tokens around that time period, they all went completely crazy and then all dumped. It was a much earlier time in the market and much smaller market caps, which were much more easy to influence. And around that time, I think I bought like $100 worth of Chile, and it went $500 within the day, and I sold it. But it was just a quick, easy grab for me because I didn't even really know what the token was at the time. I actually still don't really know. I think it's a gaming token of sorts. But the market caps were small. Like my personal opinion or way I look at things is, if market cap is above $2 billion and it's been there after a big dip or after a cool down in a bear market, it holds that value, then in my opinion, it's weathered the storm. It's capable of moving upwards from that price. And it's also a lot less likely to do like something like a rug pull or a team crash grab. Because like the lower market caps around 100 million, 200 million, 300 million, possibly 500 million, you see a lot of like 90% crashes on those tokens, and they're a lot more volatile. Yes, the upside's bigger because $100 million market cap, if it goes to 1 billion, it's an instant 10x. But it's a lot riskier. I think these market caps, they have the best of both worlds. They have the room and potential to do 2x, 3x, 4x, etc. But they have weathered the storm of big sell-offs, big panic sales, possible team stealings, etc., etc. I'm not saying that it won't happen. I'm not saying that it doesn't crash. It won't crash. But something like AVAX, it's been around for a few years now. If the team was going to drain the liquidity pool, they would have done so already. That's kind of the point I'm trying to make. And if hackers were able to steal all their funds, they would have done so already. So that's kind of how I base things. But I think Kaspa is relatively new. I bought it around the same time as I did Sui, when they had similar market caps. Now Sui is currently on. Did I miss it? Like Sui had a bit of bad news, of course, with a hack. But no. What is it? Oh, there it is. 12. So Sui is currently on the $12 billion market cap. Kaspa is at around. Where is it? I need to look at the number. Kaspa is on close to 3. Well, let's call it 2.5 to 12. Like that would be an extra $10 billion market cap. So that would be more than a 10x on this price. No, a 5x on this price. Sorry. Well, it might not have been during the tournament, but I think their market caps still were a lot smaller around the time of the tournament. So the smaller the market cap is, the smaller the liquidity pool is, the easier it is to influence or drain or dump or pump these tokens. So $1 million would cause a much bigger wave than it does on Bitcoin, for instance. Yeah, I also hold a little bit of AVAX. Yeah, so I think their infrastructure that they have is very, very good. It's very solid. It's very developer friendly. It's just around that time they launched, Solana was stealing the show, especially because Solana has like 90% of all the meme token volume up. But I think the project and technology is solid. And as I said, once a product's solid, the team's working, the devs are working, like you have people working on that token for you if you hold it. I think that's a good thing. How high price SUI can reach? Really, really making me work here today, but that's good. I like the questions. Like SUI, let's base it off of market cap. So SUI is on a $12 billion market cap. With the current total crypto market cap, like without new money flowing in, I'd say maximum around like Dogecoin and ADA, like something like this. So roughly a 2x, like 100% gain from this point. Hi, welcome, El. Welcome. I do these streams every week. I was talking market-wise in general. Like we had all-time highs. I'm talking about altcoins currently, where I think they can go. Talking a little bit about SUI now. If we look at the current market cap, $12 billion market cap, 12.3. Let's call it halfway to Tron. I think SUI could nestle itself between the two here, and it doesn't seem like a lot, but I think it's still 100% gain from here. But that's with the current market cap. So if we get new money going into crypto, new influxes, new volumes, or they get extremely good news or a very good reason to become the number 3 or number 4 crypto in the world, then it could go higher. But for now, I'm not seeing it. I think somewhere around this area, maybe that area, like around the position of Cardano, this where I think it can reach currently. So it could do that within this year or next year. If we're thinking longer term, maybe towards the Solana era, but that would be a massive increase. That's almost a 9x from this point. I think it could do that, but it'll take a lot longer. It takes time. We need more money, new investors. We need inflation to work at our advantage. A 2x is, I take a 2x any day. I'd be happy with that, no problem. And once it reaches it, I just take out a little bit of profit, then we have cash on the side and we wait to buy back cheaper. That's how I treat all of my longer term holds. Yeah, I hold a little bit of SUI. I have Solana. Like, why would I hold Solana if I didn't think the price would be able to go up from here? I think all crypto will go up from here. It'll just take time, or at least all legitimate cryptos. Better put. And I always call myself cautiously optimistic, because it won't be a straight shot. Like, we will have dips, we will have crashes, we will have big swings along the way, but like the red bloody days where prices crash 90%, where we're starting to doubt ourselves, like, why am I even in crypto? What am I doing? I'm losing money. That's when we need to be buying more. And I would say do that only with assets you think will hold their value. And I think Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, etc., they will hold their value and be worth more in the future. So if they do, if those prices tank, I'm buying. And before when it came into the server, we were talking about the S&P 500. I plan to do the exact same thing on the stock market. Like, I'm waiting for these prices to keep crashing further down. I want them to crash further down because I'm relatively young. I'm looking to retire in maybe 10 years, possibly 20, but I'm aiming at 10 years. But yeah, if I'm able to do it within 10 years, the things that will help me massively is if we have a stock market crash. In all honesty, if we have a stock market crash, yes, it will be terrible for the world. And for young investors, probably like most of us, but for young investors that are able to buy stocks at that time, it'll set you up for life. It could be life-changing money, but it requires dedication, right? Dedication, time, and opportunity. Time, yeah, dedication, time, opportunity is, and we need to take advantage of every opportunity we get. But we got to be smart about it. That's how I sum the whole story up. Yeah, a bull run never feels like a bull run until after it's gone. When the prices start crashing with 50%, 60%, 70%, then you'll know, all right, I was in a bull run. A lot of people enter on bull runs because we see market hype, we see news reports, social media posts, all the other crap. People like the Tate brothers or other influencers trying to promote crypto, etc., etc. A lot of that happens during those bull runs. So you get in at the exact wrong time, because showing an extremely fearful market with 20% losses, nobody will think to themselves like, I got to get in on this. 50% drop. Oh man, where can I buy this? It's very counterintuitive. Well, that's actually. I mean, sometimes it feels like new for me as well. Like I'm never 100% positive. Nobody's ever 100% positive on anything. But like quote Matt Damon, "Fortune favors the brave." I'm not saying you should buy a bunch of FTX, but what you should do is, like I said, be smart about it. Like dollar cost averaging. Don't YOLO all your money into one crypto coin. Build your portfolio and build it smart. Like stick to your plan, stick to your gut. Don't gamble. If you're buying meme coins, it's 100% gambling. You know it. Everybody knows a meme coin is completely worthless, and it will tank eventually. But if you're buying legitimate projects, which reinvest usually their time, not their money, but that reinvest their time, they're actively developing, they're putting out products, they're attracting more investors for you. That's where you need to be looking at. That's what you need to be looking at. That's what you need to be putting in your portfolio for longer terms. Because if you buy these meme tokens in your portfolio, they will be worthless in the span of a year or possibly a month. But yeah, that's how I look at it. So I've been talking for about 45 minutes, 44 minutes actually. Does anybody have any few final questions? Because I am, as I said at the beginning of the stream, I'm a little bit busy. I'm still packing and going away on a trip in a little bit. So I didn't want to miss the stream. But I don't really have the time to extend it like I usually do. Oh, and by the way, if you haven't already, please click that subscribe button. It really helps me out massively. And I'm trying to grow my channel so I can do this a lot more. Got a long ways to go, but I think I'm doing okay so far. Thanks. Awesome. Thanks for the sub. Plan B, stock to flow model. Yeah. Honestly, I've looked at it in the past and it's just vague enough. I agree with the model, and I think the model is based on what I base my whole idea, my whole look at investing is based on inflation. Every year, more dollars are printed, more euros are printed, every year more money is generated throughout all facets of the world. Companies produce more money, governments create more money and produce more money. Interests, bonds, whatever, everything in our entire planet is pretty much. But well, I have around 15 minutes, so if you have a question, you can ask it. But like I said, everything in the world is aimed at generating more profit, more money, more everything. This is also why we have inflation in the world. This is also why houses cost more each year. Not generally because they're worth more, but because there's more money in the world. So they will automatically be worth more money. That's why it's also let's call it a good idea, but a good idea to buy a house as young as possible at as low as interest as possible, and try not to maybe not pay off everything, because the outstanding debt on that, the debt will also decrease in value with inflation, because inflation will start working in your advantage. That's a whole other object, though. But the whole stock to flow model is, I think it's based around the same idea. Every year more money is generated. What do all these big companies, governments, what do they do with all this extra money they have? Nobody leaves it in the bank. No, they reinvest it. The company reinvests their profits back into their company or their stock. Or they buy assets with it. They have company portfolios. Personal people, like with their own money, like every year. I do it every month. Every month I generate more money through work, through passive income, through whatever. I generate more money. I put more money into the stock market. Everybody on this entire planet does this. And now that we're seeing more and more money also flow into the crypto market and being more and more generalized into actual financial markets, it's a no-brainer that every year the total crypto market cap will rise. Every year the total stock market cap will rise. Every year the total financial market cap will rise, because there's more money generated in the world and it flows to these places. It's like the money is a mountain and we have rivers flowing into basins, in which one is the financial market, the stock market, and the crypto market. So it's a no-brainer that in 10 years, assets that have staying power will be worth more through basic economic workings, through basic inflation, and that's without hype. So if something generates good news or whatever, something develops a new product which people want to get in on, obviously more money is going to flow to that. But as more money will flow into markets, it will flow wherever it can, and it's comparable to water, in my opinion. In crypto, because of Trump's new tariff on EU. No, I think the exact opposite is happening. I think crypto is gaining because of the tariffs, because people want to get rid of their dollars, because the dollar is becoming weaker and weaker. And if you have the time, Google de-dollarization agenda. BRICS countries were already trying to do this. Russia wanted to do it. Iran, China, all these countries already wanted to do it. They're now speeding it up. All of the Asian markets are looking at trading with. I forgot the it's not the dollar. It's one of the yens they want to use instead of the dollar. So generally, after the BTC halvings, we get this huge pump. We did get it this year because of Trump got elected and there was a lot of hype behind it. Right now, it's reacting to sort of positive news, which I don't think really is that positive, or at least not for Americans themselves, because they're on the hook for a lot of money. But it's being presented as very good news, and so crypto is rising. All I can say is that I think it's an opportune moment to be in crypto, to be in stocks as well, because as I said, like if stocks keep going lower, just keep buying. Like Coca-Cola will be around for hundreds of years. Like Coca-Cola will still be around long after I'm dead. Well, my condolences. But like all I can say is like try to have a stable base. But I think the American consumers are going to be hit very hard, because like if I lose my job, I get sort of social security, whatever, for almost 2 years, and while I look for a new job. But I get with my current job, I have paid healthcare, paid dental. I have paid time off for I think I have around 10 weeks paid time off a year, a lot. And what's more, like there's so much benefits. Like if I get sick, let's say, I'll knock on wood, but if I get terminally ill or whatever, I pay like $300 a year. All the other bills are paid by health insurance, and that's what baffles me, that in America it's not mandatory, it's not regulated. If you get sick, it's a death sentence generally, because there's nobody that can afford actual healthcare. I think it's one of the biggest things which is already like bankrupting people, and general medicine, and basic working hours, like paid wages. I think the economic situation for the average Joe American has been stretched so thin that it's impossible to build a secure, stable base. And I think with all the tariffs are doing are raising prices further for Americans who are already on the edge. And I'm not saying all Americans, because obviously there's a big wage disparity between the higher paid jobs and the lower paid jobs. Okay. So I didn't know that. I did not know that part. But in generally, like I'm in the Netherlands, anybody has a right to healthcare. Everybody. And yes, we pay quite a bit of money for it, but like I think it's around €200 a month, which would be $220 something out of the top of my head right now. We pay that monthly. But I had to have my appendix removed. Didn't cost me a dime. I went back because my appendix burst. I had scar tissue, so they did another surgery on it. Didn't pay a thing. My brother got hit by a car. Didn't pay a thing. He did get a settlement money because it was his fault, but he didn't have to pay ambulances, whatever. So I think paired with that, with already the rising, like people, every household should have money left over at the end of the month to save for a rainy day, to be able to invest a little, maybe grow a little savings account, etc., to be able to take these hits. But with the current housing prices globally, not just America, I'll admit to that, but with America and all other, basically, that's becoming more expensive. Groceries are becoming more expensive. Gas is becoming more expensive. Electric is becoming more expensive. I mean, it's all exponentially, and I think it's reached a critical point, basically, is what I'm saying. And these tariffs are, all they're doing is raising prices to absurd levels even further. And yeah, honestly, I don't live in America, so I can't be 100%. I can't be 100% sure on it, but honestly, I'm wary. I'm very wary. I mean, I've been around America. I've been in LA. I saw the amount of poverty there already at the time when I was there, which is, I think it's around 10 years ago now. It's been a while. I've been to Texas several times. There's so much poverty everywhere. I mean, there's very big differences. And I think the people that are already on that poverty line are going to suffer dramatically. Like Trump claimed to make everything cheaper. I don't think he did. I could be wrong, but I hope to be proven wrong. But I think it'll reach a critical point, and that will spiral the American economy. A couple of years ago, we were paying for private insurance, and I kid you not, it was $2,300. Yeah, holy crap! But that's the point I'm trying to make. Like America, I mean, the American dream, the land of the free, 100% capitalism. Companies can do 100% freedom for companies to grow. I think it was good. But what they should have done is that, like, you have to put a limit on it. Like, you cannot endlessly raise prices with profit margins on the horizon. And I know why they're not fixing it, because if they would, the American stock market would crash. Like all company stocks would crash like a hot potato. But probably drop like hot potatoes. But I mean, what he's doing now is adverse to the effect he wants to achieve. I don't think this is a good at all. And like, you can keep inflating the number. Like now it looks relatively okay, and it'll keep looking okay until it goes bad, and then it'll go bad really fast. Once basic critical mass is reached, companies start going bankrupt, people start losing their jobs or can't afford house, electric, work, drive to work. Once that mass is reached, I don't know what will happen exactly. I think we will see that big stock market crash eventually. And I mean, I know it'll suck for a lot of people, but I'm doing relatively okay in the Netherlands. And once that stock prices crash, it'll be buying time. Yeah, that's basic inflation again. Inflation, it can be a great tool, but it's also our greatest enemy. I mean, let's call it 60 years ago. Is that true? 60, 70 years ago, you could buy a house. My brother just bought a house. I'll use that example. The house was built in 1960. The land cost 2,000 euros, $2,000, give or take. And the house itself cost 6,000 euros, $6,000. So 8,000 for the land and the house. He bought it, I kid you not, for 350,000 euros. So that's like 100x, give or take, on a house. And he bought it with a lot of that settlement money when he got hit. But there's currently houses are now being bought. You used to be able to buy it on one man working, possibly even part-time. Then you needed to work full-time, maybe a little bit of overtime, and then you got the 2-income household, because the wife, the woman, the partner, whatever, also started to work, first part-time and now also full-time. Unless everybody starts doing threesome relationships, you cannot add a third income to that, other than maybe working 2 jobs, of course, which I think is more or less the norm nowadays in America. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I see a lot of people talking about that as well on Reddit, etc. But I'm lucky enough that I own my house just by myself, and I'm not even working overtime or actually working a little bit part-time and doing this on the side, of course. But this is more or less a hobby right now because my YouTube channel is nowhere near making me money. And yeah, it's other times, but it's inflation. And the thing is, the inflation over time has been going exponentially higher, separate from the wages. So normally you would like to see them both moving up around the same movements, but obviously, like, the difference has to be there, because you won't be able to pay more than it earns. But it's been snowballing exponentially so fast that I think the wages are being stretched too thin and the costs are rising too high. And see, and that's yeah. So yeah, in the US, it's not an exception anymore. But the downside is, if you start working 2, maybe 3 jobs with a side job, side hustle, whatever, there is no more time to relax. Like, I don't have any numbers on this, but I think that's that's a big reason why there's so much substance abuse in America, because people are burnt out, but they can't. Like in the Netherlands, if someone has a burnout, they go in like this healthcare crap through their job, so they get loads of paid time off to recover, and they get a personal doctor which tries to help them get back into the workforce, maybe on a different job, etc., etc., etc. In America, there's nothing like this, because you just get fired. There's no social not healthcare, but social security measures, which keep you in your house, etc. So I think that's a big part of the substance abuse problem and why there's so much depression and weird stuff happening in the world, and hate, because unhappy people become angry people, and angry people usually tend to spread hate. And I won't blame those people 100% on that, because I think a lot of people are victims to their environment. Like, they're stuck. A lot of people are stuck, and I think the world should be different. But yeah, I'm not going to be able to change it. Rent is also super expensive here. One bed? No way. What? $2,700 for one room? Yeah, that is crazy. That is so crazy. And that's why I think unions are actually a really good thing, but a lot of people are being brainwashed into thinking that it's against their own interest. Same with health insurance. Health insurance should be, obviously because it's so expensive, but health insurance, everybody should have health insurance. I think Obamacare and stuff like that was the first step in a very good direction, but sadly that got disbanded. But it's also the whole tipping culture. Like, you should have livable wages. That's the main issue. Like, I think only in America the whole tipping culture exists. And what the people fail to realize is, yes, you get your tips and they're not taxed because you don't give them or whatever. But in the wage I get, there's a lot of money deducted. Yes, also tax, a huge amount of tax, but there's also a lot of amounts set aside for my 401k. Retirement is automatically taken out of it. Like the social security measures is also in that wage. Yes, the net amount may seem less, but if you're tipping, basically what you do is you give yourself money, and you should be able, if you live on those tips, you should be setting that aside for later, because you do not build up a 401k or anything like that, because you're just living on the tips. And if you spend that money, then eventually you're going to get old, you're going to get medical ailments, and you're going to be completely screwed. It can get cheaper, but you have to travel hours away from the main cities. Yeah, and probably a lot of your jobs are also in the main cities, not outside of them. I mean, I live like 15 minutes from Amsterdam. I live like really close to Amsterdam, but I do live in a suburb. But Netherlands in itself is not really that big, so it's a little different. But I can hop on a bus and be on Amsterdam Central Square in 15 minutes. And my mortgage is only like $600 to $700. I pay very little, actually. Rent is definitely high. I'm fortunate to own a rental and kept my rate flat for as long as I could, but then already taxes and insurance went up and up. Yeah, so I mean, obviously there are still honest people, but also the reality of that is you're not going to rent it out at a loss. So if your tenant is also stuck in a job which doesn't adjust for inflation, which doesn't increase his wages, or he's just not able to afford it anymore, or inflation keeps going up and you keep having to readjust that price, eventually, let's say that a tenant does move out and you're struggling to find a new tenant, you're probably still paying a little bit on that house, and then you have to eat that loss every month if you cannot find a new tenant. And that's something I expect will happen in the next few years in America, because I think the whole American debt, the whole tariff crisis, the whole effects of it, I think it will snowball. I think that will be the leading cause of the next big stock market crash. And honestly, it's not just America. I think America is ahead of the rest of the world on that, because the effects there will be much bigger. But I think that the whole planet is due for a correction. price target for Solana. So I'm gonna say probably something a little controversial. I don't have a price target, at least because most of my holdings are all long term, and I want to hold it for the next 10 years regardless. What I do is if Solana goes up 20% or a little more than 10%, but around 10%, maybe 20, 30%, that's where I just take profits. I take out amounts that I think it'll crash back down. So let's grab that Solana chart real quick. After that, I'm probably going to start finally packing my suitcase because, like I said, I leave in like 6 hours. So let's say from the current price up to like this old price of January, like 217. Oh, that's not actually correct, but around the 218 is where I'm taking profits. If you wanted to just liquidate for this full cycle. So I've taken a little bit profits around this area at this point. So I've not taken profits now, but I did take when it was around this area. So yeah, if you have a big bag, I'd take a little bit of profits. But that's mainly because we can draw that same line here. So let's call this the support. And it's up around 10%. So yeah, I'd be able to take profits from this point if I bought around this area. And I'm looking well, I won't get into it because it's a big topic. If you've watched any of my other videos or my other streams, I'm talking about automating my DCA strategy into sort of grid buy, and this would be a grid buy, 100%. But then you still make 10% if you put in and take out. 34, that's an awesome price. That's very good. I think I got in somewhere around this area at the time, but I bought all the way down here. I bought all the way through these times. Oh yeah, FTX definitely did a number on it. That's because Sam Bankman-Fried was like one of the biggest investors into Solana. But he just invested the FTX token, which turned out to be worthless. I never really lost faith in Solana, but I was remodeling my house at the time, so I wasn't able to buy as much as I wanted, and I'm kind of gutted. Because had I put all the money that I was using to remodel my house, had I put it into Solana and other tokens around these years, I mean, come on, that would be insane amount of gains. Like, let's say from here to there, 2,500%. I think he wrote Trump to receive an official pardon. Yeah, Trump is all for billionaires, and billionaires are pissed off at SBF because he basically scammed all of them. And everyone all the celebrities that endorsed FTX also got completely boned on it. If not by their fans, then at least monetarily. Like Gisele Bundchen and Tom Brady lost, I think they lost around 250 million at the time they were still married. That's why I quoted Matt Damon earlier in the video. Like, fortune favors the brave, and he did that commercial, and he ended up costing people so much money. But I'll post it in a link in the comment. Just let me. I think it's this clip. Watch this. Yeah, basically, uh, like they refer like South Park references the Matt Damon commercial, where one of the kids says, "My dad listened to Matt Damon and lost all his money." And yes, but he was brave in doing so. South Park is so on point. I'm so waiting. Like, South Park will have a new season, and it'll be about. I've, I've heard rumors about it being the French wanting the Statue of Liberty back, and Trump and the tariffs and whatever. So it's going to be a hell of a season. Oh well, guys, I think that's a good point to call it a night. I will be back next Friday. I probably won't make it next Wednesday. I'm hoping I'll be able to join in the Discord, but I'll probably be back around that time, but probably won't. But yeah, other than that, I'd say have a great weekend. I'll see you all next week. If you've not done so already, I'd love a like and subscribe, etc. All that same story I talk about every week. But yeah, have a great weekend and stay safe in this weird world. See you all.